Boogie, drop that beat.
Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, Talking Out Loud with Miss Talkative. Everything I say is my own opinion, alleged, and strictly entertainment purposes. Remember, I'm just talking out loud. Please like, share, subscribe, comment on the video, let me know what you think. Now, I didn't listen to the recording of what Arionne had to say about Melody and Miss Van, and if it's anything about her last conversation she had with Original Straight No Chaser, where she was saying all those vile things about Melody and Miss Van, I don't plan to listen, because what's the point? Because in my opinion, whatever Arionne had to say is regurgitated from Martell, and whatever else she fabricated or made up to try to make Melody look like the bad guy. Because 4 years post Martell being divorced, and she still has an issue with Melody. Melody divorced Martell. They could have been together. I don't understand why she's still so mad at Melody. Because Martell, she's probably still mad at Melody because Martell has not claimed her, because Martell hasn't wifed her, because Martell is still professing his love for Melody, and she's taking her issues out on Melody. That can't help her. I mean, I don't understand all of the misguided anger towards Melody when Martell has been with several women post-divorce from Melody, and Melody has not gone back. And I know it's probably because she still sees Melody as an attachment to Martell because of the kids. But she chose to have a child by Martell. She didn't have to do that. But Arionne, I believe she's mad because she thought she was getting Melody. She was going to get Melody's life once Melody divorced Martell, because we all know that Arionne has been to Melody's house. She's seen the cars that Melody drives. She knew about the trips that they took. She watched the carefree life that Melody was living, and she wanted it. She didn't want part of it. She wanted all of it. That's why Arionne she chose to ignore all the red flags about Martell being a cheater, a liar, and, everything else that he did, because she was determined by any means necessary to make sure that Melody and Martell divorced with no possibility of a chance of reconciling, hence the oops baby. Arionne, she kept telling people that Martell kept chasing her, and she keep telling that same thing every time somebody say, well, why didn't you just leave Martell alone? And her answer is always, he kept chasing me. He kept knocking on my door. He kept coming for me. But Melody caught Arionne calling Martell, not Martell calling Arionne. I don't think for a second that Martell wasn't still going over her house and stuff like that, but I believe they were busy chasing each other. Because how you calling Martell's phone and curse out Melody for Martell if you no longer wanted to be with him? Why are you calling his phone? When Melody answered that phone, why is she trying to go off on Melody? She should have just hung up and never talked to Martell again. She should have realized, okay, well, you know what? He's not going to leave his wife. But instead, she gets indignant with Melody, but then want the people to believe that it was only Martell chasing her and not her chasing Martell. She must think people stupid. She can miss me with all of that. But hopefully Melody lawyer has enough evidence from all of Arionne's shenanigans to not only make sure that Arionne has to stay far away from Melody kids, but to also bring charges against Arionne as well. Because enough is enough. And Arionne, she should have been stopped. Some type of order or cease and desist, something should have been brought against her where she is not able to continue to harass Melody, because it makes no sense. Melody's not checking for her. But we all know that just like the others, Destiny, the cast, Carlos, everybody's doing Martell dirty work, but she's taking it to the extreme because she's upset because things have not ended up for her the way she intended it to. And because Arionne and Martell, they are, in my opinion, they are just alike. Arionne is just as bad as Martell, and they are both not going to stop harassing Melody and her family until they're forced to stop. Arionne looking up photos of posting other people and stuff, trying to make it seem like Melody is in a relationship with other married people to make herself feel vindicated for doing the things that she did. It's not going to work. Right. Because this is not the first time that Arionne has mouthed off to bloggers about Melody and her family. And apparently Martell, he got to be okay with whatever Arionne is doing because he hasn't stopped her. He has not put an end to it. And it's like in him ignoring it, trying to make it seem like he has nothing to do about it, or he can't do anything about it, makes him look guilty as well, because this is the lady that he chooses to have around his kids. But like I say, Arionne is doing all of this mess to Melody, all because she allowed Martell to tell her anything way back when, up, and still allows him to tell her anything. Even though she see what Martell is doing with her own eyes, she still believes everything that Martell tells her. And the fact that she's now feeling the agony and doing the walk of shame because karma is on her behind, is not letting up, because she's a disrespectful wench. And that's why the people say never judge a book by its cover. Arionne, she definitely prejudged Melody and Martell's lifestyle. She definitely went into the situation with Martell with her eyes closed and trying to replace Melody, because she's seen them having a great, on the outside, she's seen them having a great life, and she believed the fact that Martell was the man in charge, and she was infatuated by whatever he had, whatever she thought he could offer her at that time, and she allowed herself to believe everything he said, just because he was giving her some crumbs off of whatever Melody was bringing in. But whatever he was giving her, it was much more than what she was actually used to getting. So, like I said, she ignored all Martell red flags, and she made it her mission to destroy Melody, hoping that she could replace her in Martell's life, and she can become that kept wife that probably Martell promised her, because it seemed like once she gave up school and working and stuff like that, and chose to stay home, and Martell giving her crumbs, she wasn't going to work. So she thought she was about to be a kept wife once they got divorced. But once Arionne realized that she played herself by not staying in the background and trying to force Martell to leave Melody, trying to be seen, everything had already backfired on the both of them. And Melody was removing herself from their little circus, and so they can go head on, ride off in the sunset and do whatever it was that they intended to do, or they was trying to do, with them, acting like, Arionne acting like Melody was in the way. And that's why Arionne is mad today, because Melody moved herself out the way, and Arionne wasn't, she wasn't, when Melody moved herself out the way, Arionne didn't realize that Martell wasn't the breadwinner. He wasn't the man up until after Melody had moved on and dissolved all of them dissolved all of them businesses and bank accounts. And Martell no longer had access. But I just don't understand why the misguided anger at Melody. It's like she knows no matter how hard she tried, she would never be able to be the next Mrs. Hope. And she would never be able to be on the level as Melody. She would never be able to live the lifestyle that Melody actually provided Martell that Melody provided Martell. That she thought Martell was providing for her, because Martell had access to Melody's money, which is why Arionne stated that she liked Martell better when he was with Melody, because Martell was able to provide better for her. And, she had bragging rights amongst all her little low-life people that she hung around. But, like I say, Arionne needs to stop reminiscing about the past, feeding into the BS that Martell and probably Destiny and whomever else that's in their circle, it keeps telling her to make her think that that her and Martell are going to be together and live happily ever after. Because if she think about it, if she realized, if Martell wanted to be with her, he would. If he wanted to marry her, he would have already married her, because nothing is stopping him. The courthouse is open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. So there is no excuse. So Arionne needs to get over this misguided anger, because, and like I say, hopefully Melody's lawyer is collecting evidence to get her to go after Arionne right after they are done with Martell. And that's just my opinion. I'm just talking out loud. Please like, share, subscribe. Comment on the video. Let me know what you think.